even lower than they are in the league.
No,
Is that what you're telling
yes,
me?
you would. Yes, you would.
Maybe if I was consuming narcotics, but I don't. So I'm a normal human.
No,
PSG are on top of the league. The sky's blue. So,
Yo, what is everyone saying? Welcome back to another episode of the Total 90 Pod. This is the last episode before the World Cup content will be spamming your screens. I know we're all waiting for World Cup content. We're going to have a good 2 months of that one. Our squad is now 1 week away from full fitness. So all the panelists that you've missed seeing on your screens, they're going to be back very, very, very soon. And speaking of guys that have certainly been missed, this guy's been out and about in the real world. He's been making bank these days. He's back from injury and he's ready to get fit just in time for the World Cup call-up. It's our chief scout, Mr. Ferhat Tuki. How's it going, mate?
hey man, I'm glad to be back. I've been busy, but I've been watching the pods and I couldn't wait to be back on one. So here I am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's indeed very good to have you back. And next up, another man who has made the call-up for our final World Cup squad. His Tchouaméni stocks have been rising rapidly. It is Mr. TTA. How are you, sir?
Oh, it's good. Yes, sir. I'm glad to be back on the pod. Good vibes as per usual.
Yes. It has been a minute. And lastly, also making it on the plane next week for our World Cup panelist squad. This one it's like when Neymar was sitting there recording his reaction. Like he knows that he's in, fam. He's going to be sitting there with the pilot. So there's no point even announcing that he's in. Mav, what are you telling me?
surprised look at the Martinelli inclusion included.
Whoa,
but no, Did you not see from Neymar? Not from me.
No, it
from
was
him.
like a yes, like get in. It was like
Yeah,
eyes
sure
wide.
it
Like
was, sure it
I
was,
can't,
sure
I
it was.
can't wait to see these runs in behind. That's what it was.
Yeah, man.
No, it was one of surprise, but I'm not surprised he's in. I want to clarify that. But I am not surprised I'm in the World Cup squad either, let's be honest.
Bang. Now, as you all know, we are about a third of the way through the season so far for most European teams, and we're about to play our last games before Qatar. So we decided to have a little, I guess, is it parents' evening, midterm report, whatever you want to call it, wherever you guys are from. We got a little tier list of how they've been doing so far. So I guess we'll do it now and then again at like 26 games and then again obviously at the end of the season. So the tier list goes from best in Europe all the way down to complete horror show. Obviously these are relative to the team specifically. So if they're meant to be winning leagues and they're not, we judge them accordingly. So without wasting any further time, we've got football in like an hour and a half. So we go straight in. First team on our list is Milan. Who would like to start with Milan?
AC Milan are a weird one. I think it's kind of when Leao isn't playing, if I'm being completely honest. The few games he's not been available, they seem to lose all spark. And then as we saw, we expected a good game against Chelsea in the Champions League and it just didn't materialise at all. Yes, the ref were in the second game, don't get that twisted, but they still got packed in first leg as well. I know players were missing again. So, yeah. I don't know.
I'll tell you where I put them. I hear what you're saying here. I kind of got them in good. Obviously, they are defending their league title and whatnot. They got through the UCL group relatively comfortably. Obviously, the Chelsea results aside and whatnot. But they are quite a long way away behind Napoli at the moment. So
yeah,
I'm saying good. I don't know what anyone else is thinking of that one. Ferhat?
Yeah, I also think it's a good season. They're not doing bad in the league necessarily. They're second. It's just incredible what Napoli is doing at the minute. I wasn't impressed by them in Champions League, I'll be honest. I know they went through obviously, but I really hope for them in our draw and we didn't get them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I
We
feel
know
like
who you got, mate.
yeah, I feel like against big teams they're kind of not as confident. I mean, they're still second at the end of the day.
Yeah.
For me personally, I can't call it great, so I'll go with good as well.
Yeah, but then what I'll say about the great though, I'll let T go in a second. But what I'll say about great though is, arguably they are still having a great season. Like it's a weird one. Yeah, good. Good.
See any movement? You can put him in great if you like.
No, I don't want to. That's the point. Like, but in so many ways, I feel like you could argue low, great, really high. Good. I'm settled. T go.
Yeah.
T start talking,
Yeah.
please.
Nah, bro, I was letting you finish in it, man. But yeah, real talk. AC Milan, you can't really. Well, they're still technically at their own standard from last season, even though they're second. Obviously, like Napoli's on fire. You can't really like be mad at that. the fact that they're still contending with injuries and everything else is actually a massive feat. So I'm just gonna leave him at good for now. I don't think there's
I hear that. Else. Fair enough. I hear that one. Next up, we have Ajax. Now, obviously, most of us here would have been familiar with their Champions League campaign, and I can't lie to you, embarrassing. They got packed in by pretty much. They got lucky that Rangers were there.
Yeah.
Because aside from an okay showing at Anfield, where my boy Kudus was active, they stunk it up, man. They're not even top of their league. They're getting slapped about by PSV and that. So it has to be one of the bottom two for me already. I can't lie.
Yeah.
For Ajax level,
you know what's the problem? You were talking about expectations and about like how we see them, right? Problem here being new coach Alfred Schröder. You don't really know what to expect. Realistically, only performance-wise, if you ask Ajax fans as well, they should be going horror show. But they had so many new people coming into the squad, so I kind of want to give them average, but it's not really an average Ajax season.
You got a whole team to the actual standards, isn't it? And if we're gonna be honest, Ajax's standard this season is definitely horror show, because there is no way that they should be where they are. I know Ten Hag's gone and everything else, and a lot of other players have left, and they don't have that same core they had when they were doing like ridiculous things in the Champions League. But for them to be where they are right now is absolutely abysmal. So horror show for me, I can't lie.
See, I hear the holding them to their standards slightly different to you guys in terms of realistically. I think Ajax of old have been exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
Them being third in the group they were third in isn't a horror show in my opinion.
I don't think it's where they finish in the group.
No, I get the results. I do get the results. But again, at the same time, like, is that such a good job that Ten Hag did, that we are looking at Ajax and seeing them get third in the group? A bit of Ten
Hag United,
bro. Like, all right. At the end of the day, they're second in Eredivisie behind an incredible PSV team right now. Was it expected that they qualified? No.
No, but I'd expect them to not get packed in at home.
No fight.
100%. But look at the teams they've been playing against. So
right, we'll go, so everyone then
go average.
One place. So Mav says
low
average. T. What are you saying?
Horror show, man. I can't lie. I'm gonna have to hold on to standards.
I'll still go with horror show.
Okay, well then there you go.
Fair.
Horror show is they can be just on the precipice, no dramas, and I think this one. Hey,
here we go.
Awesome.
We go in the opposite direction. You know what I mean? Let me not gas it up too much though. Let me let Mav take the wheel on this one. Mav, can I get your thoughts?
You can, and I know why you've asked me, because you know I don't want to say this, but you know that I'm also going to be super honest. And for me, quite frankly, Arsenal are one of the best teams in Europe right now. I have no discussion about that. Ben White in right back is a revelation right now. It's unbelievable. The fact that a centre back has gone in right back and done the job he's done is outrageous. You've got Xhaka, the forgotten man, the turned around man. You've got Odegaard, who is absolutely sublime to watch. You've got Gabi Jesus not scoring goals, but still one of the best strikers in the league, which doesn't make sense to people that don't understand football. You've got Martinelli and Saka, best wingers in the league. Like, I just don't have a weak point in their team currently, and that's just the way I see it. Just the way I see it.
I love to hear it. Foha, add some more.
Look, I can't really disagree with anything Mav said. They genuinely look solid in all three parts of their team, in the defense and midfield and attack. If we're only judging this season so far, you have to put them amongst the best in Europe. The only times I've seen them struggle a bit was also with a bit of rotation, you have to be fair with. Like, if we're saying like Europa League and stuff like that.
It's a bit scary when we start losing a couple midfielders here and there.
If you look at the expectations that Arsenal fans had, and that like Premier League fans in general had of Arsenal before the season, you have to put them in the very top category. For me,
I like. Listen, literally, last three Big Six games: Spurs packed in, Liverpool packed in, Chelsea were patting their head like little boys, fam. We were patting their head. It was marvelous, and I don't even know how this is even. I can't like, you know me. I'm an Arsenal defender at all times, but even this is beyond what I thought so far. And again,
you've answered all questions. You've answered all questions put to you.
Also the under 21s as well, because they're top of the league also. My brother Miles Lewis Skelly, yeah, save this interview, yeah, that name, remember it. You guys know about your Ethan Nwaneries. Save this name. Even the women's team is top of the league. We're just top on everything right now. So I'm gonna keep it enjoying whilst we can. T, chat to me, brother.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think this would happen this season. Like I've been backing Arteta for the longest time. I'm not gonna lie. I've been an Arteta backer for time. Even when people were screaming, "Arteta out, get him out my club," I said, "Give him time, innit? Watch." Yeah. And now look at us, man. Top of the league. We're looking.
Apparently,
scary.
That's all Arsenal fans now. The 360 is outrageous.
Hey, listen, you know me. I'm a guy. I'm a guy that has
backing
receipts.
him, apparently.
Bro, I'm a guy that has receipts.
Exactly.
So
no
one
wants to admit they weren't backing him. I hear it. I respect it.
I've been backing him, and it's just so funny because, like, watching us this season, it is so like teams are panicking against us. Like, teams are waking up on match days worried. There's the cold sweats. They're getting nervous. They're getting a bit shaky. Listen, Arsenal. I'm telling you now. If we can keep up this form and injuries stay low, I feel like we could probably challenge for the title. I'm not saying we're winning it because I don't want I don't want anybody coming up.
Someone said it. Someone said it.
But it might happen, innit? It might happen. It might happen.
No, at this point, saying you can challenge for the league is absolute fact. It's not. It's not delusion anymore. Saying you can challenge is 100% fact. 100%.
Moving on from Arsenal, I don't want to make it a whole 1 hour segment on Arsenal. We move over to Atalanta. Ferhat, you are a Serie A connoisseur. You want to get us started there, mate?
Honestly, I don't think there's that much to talk about with them. A lot better depth this season than they had last season, in my opinion. You also have to take in factor, though, they haven't played anything European this season, which might explain their table position, which is 4th. So I would just put him good. Just good.
I would say good because I swear they were like unbeaten up until like a couple weeks ago. Then they lost like 2 games.
Yeah, and now they're kind of crumbling. Yeah.
There's not a whole lot to say about them. Like, Matt, have you got any thoughts on Atalanta, or are you comfy with just good season?
Yeah, good season. I mean, obviously 4th in Serie A can't be scoffed at. Adama Lukman is performing very well. He seems to be having a very good time over there. I like seeing clips of him scoring some very nice goals.
See, anything to add really, or we just slap him?
Not really, man. I can't lie. Just having a good season. That's about it.
Yeah. First, I look at the next badge on my screen.
I know where this is going. I can't lie.
Boy.
So since you didn't get to say much on that one, T, you can start this one. Atletico Madrid. How are they doing for you, mate?
I can't lie. It's a long time coming. I don't know. It's a shady team for the longest time. I can't lie to you. From even the deal with Griezmann and everything else, last season with Man City, no ratings. So this downfall is beautiful to see. And I hope it progresses.
Yeah, I don't think it's even up for debate, fam. Like this, in terms of horror shows, what we're seeing from Atleti is shocking. Like I didn't think it, bro. Bottom of their UCL group, bottom. Do you know like how embarrassing? I think they're even barely top 4. They were relying on like Griezmann hitting 100th minute equalizers or winners every single time. Nah, man, this is a shambles, man.
Absolutely. I'm not going to add too much more. I think T hit the nail on the head. Love seeing it. Inject it. Get them in that horror show.
The only thing going for them in their history is that they've given us some fantastic strikers, but other than that, bro, my goodness.
Horrible.
Next up, we have FC Barcelona. This is interesting. Who would like to start on this one? Because
expectation.
It's not gonna run. I really want to put them there, but no one's gonna have it. And it's whether I choose to continue the remontada with the fans, or whether I just say, do you know what, return to the old me and say, put this team in horror show. When it hits the European stage and playing against any decent team, oh my God, are these guys horrible to watch?
They're definitely cheating, by the way, because like there's far too many like handball decisions that I'm seeing going towards Barca, and I'm thinking, I just don't really get it, because like you said, like by their standards, they should never be getting booted out of Champions League. Like,
never.
Obviously they did last year. But I can't bring myself to put someone that's first in their league.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Lewandowski in La Liga is taking the ball down, banging it in the net, walking away for banter. But then in UCL, it looks like he can't touch a ball, shoot a ball. Like I don't know. Like
this is going to be a controversial one. This is going to be one that's probably going to have a lot of people angry at me. But my problem is, yes, they're first in La Liga, but apart from Real Madrid, is anyone in La Liga really Champions League quality or even like Europa?
Nope.
Not anymore.
Nope.
All the
sorry,
teams
I don't
in
care,
La
La Liga
this
fans.
season,
Nope.
I'm saying average as well. Even though they spent so much, they sold so much, and they still couldn't even get past the group stage of the Champions League. Lewandowski is going into the Europa League for I think it was his first time in his career. Yeah, man, average. average.
That's a very
Maybe last time he
he
played there was like for Lex Poznan or something like that.
There you go, man.
Linking up with like Wisla Krakow and them teams and that. Fair enough. All right, next up we got Bayern Munich.
Oh well, we know who's starting this
you
one.
want to start on this?
Yeah, I want to start on this. So,
go on then.
Obviously, we had a few problems in the league here and there. We drew, we lost. We had our problems. But I think personally, and I said it all the time during our losses, during our draws, I think we had a finishing problem. We created and created and created, and the goalkeepers wouldn't stop saving. Shout out to Jan Sommer.
Yeah, that game was kind of.
I would still put us in best in Europe.
Ooh.
I think I would still go there.
What?
No, I would still go because
you
like
know what? I kind of hear what he's saying.
No, because
it sounds nuts. But
if
I do
you
hear
look
what
at
he's
if you look at the stats, we're still the best attacking team in Europe, and our defense is really not that bad. Look at the goals conceded.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak about that last part because I'm.
Yeah, I mean you have your
Let's
agenda
get
and
better
stuff,
about
but
this.
he has been great this season in my opinion.
No, but I
locked
get
up
what you're
Lewandowski.
saying because obviously, like, yeah, they did breeze. They got like what full 18 points in their group when it wasn't.
They won every game. Yeah,
They
won every
and
game.
it wasn't
so.
like it wasn't the easiest group in the world. And the fact they won every single game, like, fairs, you gotta respect that. They have come through that little spell of like hella draws to now be top of the league again. And if you are to say like amongst this list, like the top 4 or 5 teams in Europe, to be honest, I kind of hear Bayern being in there, but Mav is laughing very much. So let's hear what Mav has to say.
I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, Furhat, but I just like, I think Bundesliga tax is still on it. I think if you look at the group they got max points from, I just don't know if I can go best in Europe for the sole reason of the general competition. Again, the Bundesliga, serious questions on the average quality of teams right now. Very worrying.
But the UCL group was quite tough, nah?
It was.
I feel like I'm usually like a Bayern hater, but like
at the end of the day, I'm gonna say my answer is bottom of best. Musiala's incredible to watch. Obviously, your team overall is very good and a threat, of course. Just depending which Bayern decide to turn up, really.
T, did I notice a bit of a slight giggle as well from you there, pal?
Yeah,
when,
because
Furhat mentioned the top.
Well, listen, right? I will still say they are the best in Europe. I'm not the biggest fan of Julian Nagelsmann. I don't like his system, but I will say this: Bayern are performing well without an actual out-and-out striker. There's no out-and-out striker at Bayern Munich at the moment, and they've got Mane.
Respect the beast.
Oh,
We got a real striker now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's playing for. Who's our real striker? Who's a real striker at Bayern? They're really.
Choupo-Moting.
Come on, man.
No. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh because
I know.
You're gonna laugh because he's one of those like Harry Maguire type of footballers. Like you look, it's Choupo-Moting and stuff like that. But he's playing out of his skin.
Join him there. There's no dramas. No dramas
Bundestag.
whatsoever. No dramas. I'm looking forward to buying a PSG though. It should be
revenge.
a very fun watch.
There should be a lot of goals.
I
I can't
think
lie.
PSG are out. I'll be honest. I think PSG are out, but
And that's why we're saying buying goes as high as they are, no?
Benfica.
We are on to Benfica. Obviously, those who are unaware, I've just come back from Portugal. I'm now a resident Portuguese, and I've had a close eye. So I want to tell you guys quickly to just check out. I have a player in mind. He plays for Estoril, number 8, Serginho. Save this one here, but and onto Benfica though. I think personally, the home record, you can't really argue with it. It's kind of crazy. They're top of the league by like 7-8 points. And they snuck ahead of PSG in that group. And in like the final 20 seconds with that Jean Mario long shot. So to me, I think it's a great season. I don't know about the best in Europe, but they're having a great season to get top of UCL, and they're far clear in the league as well.
I've not watched that much Benfica football. I haven't watched the league that much. But I will say they are very impressive in the UCL. To come top of a league with PSG in it, with all the superstars they have there, even though they're all beefing each other, is amazing. And they have competition. That league isn't just it's not like a farmers league, if you want to say, or anything. So I respect it.
I have to go great season as well. They've been unbeaten this season. Their personnel is very interesting. Antonio Silva at centre back, big talent. Enzo Fernandez, fantastic footballer, should play for Argentina.
I think like last year, they're one of those teams that you kind of go, oh, if we draw them, we've got a good chance in the UCL. But at the same time, it's also a team you don't want to play because they can upset any team. I've never watched a single Portuguese league game this year. I'll say that with chest. So, I mean, yeah, great season. You can't discredit. I've seen the stats. I've seen what they're doing. You can't discredit what they're doing. So, great season.
Fair enough. I hear that. On to another interesting one. We are back over to England. We have Graham Potter's Chelsea.
The Jekyll and Hyde again. Like 1 week they're great, and you watch them and go, oh, they're solid. They're doing this. They're scoring that. And the next week you watch them and you think, these guys could get relegated from the Prem if they played like this every week. So like, I don't really know. I genuinely think it comes down to the fact that if Reece James and Kante aren't playing, which they're obviously, Kante hasn't played this season, and Reece James has. If both of those aren't playing, I think they are a very, very average football team. When you're looking at J5 to create something, it's a bit of a problem. So in so many ways, I want to say horror show, but the only reason that they can't go in horror show is the UCL performances. But the sacking of Tuchel, when it was done, how it was done, why it was done, was an absolute circus, a farce.
Fair enough. T, where would you like to put Chelsea?
Nothing personal. I'd probably say average season. Still, I can't lie. I say average season.
Arsenal, it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal.
Nothing personal.
I'm back. I'm blue. I'm ready.
Average season. The injury bug is hitting them. When they're trying to bring on Pulisic for goals against Arsenal, that's when you know they're in trouble. They're in trouble, man. They got no bag to go in. They're doing well in the Champions League. Big ups to them still. For that one there, but the league,
I'll never big up nothing to Chelsea. No, there's no up or nothing. Small downs.
Did you man see that Aubameyang threw the mask behind Ramsdale's net just before the game started?
I heard the rumor about that. All I know is that if that was true, I expect Ramsdale to pick up the mask and wear it to celebrate when we went 1-0 up, but it didn't happen. So I'm hoping next time, maybe if he hides at the Emirates, then we can run it there. But for me, obviously, I know as someone that's been there at the start of a project, you got to give it time, right? Potter, he's just getting started. However, to get embarrassed the way they did against Arsenal, it's kind of scary, bro. Like, we've beat them quite a few times in recent years, and it's nothing like new now. But that was it was scary. And why they're putting like Sterling and Pulisic as like wing backs, and they're now trying to gas up like Loftus-Cheek and that, like It's not good, man. And I'm sorry, Chelsea fans, but you guys didn't become the first team ever to have injuries. Liverpool were doing this one the other year. They were like, oh, we had an injury here and one there. Bro, every team has injuries. So I feel sympathy. Of course, Reece James, one of the best right backs on the planet. But at the same time, you got to have alternatives. You got to have a plan B.
Not a 38-year-old Dave.
Yeah, like I'm going to go average,
right,
I guess, because they won their Champions League group, but it was, in all fairness,
that's the only saving grace. Literally the only saving grace.
Sometimes I genuinely couldn't believe what I saw with my eyes when I watched them play. They play like terrible football. I think it can only be average.
We'll be telling Potter to buck your ideas up, buddy. And
it can only be average. Like some of the messages I'm seeing from Chelsea fans, like week in week out, talking certain stuff about their players. I don't think you can put this anywhere above average.
Me, I don't really pay attention to what Chelsea fans say about their players because it's very hard to keep track of who they like and who they don't like.
Changes weekly, man. Changes weekly over there.
But yeah, that's Chelsea done. Over to Borussia Dortmund.
Interesting one.
I can start. I don't mind. I'll start for this one. I think they've been kind of mid, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Like Bellingham's been carrying them. I'm seeing him bagging goals a lot more this season. I'm seeing Mokoko get involved quite a bit now as well.
Yep.
But in general, fourth in the league is not good enough, especially when you consider the teams that they are behind. And they got through their UCL group, but it wasn't exactly convincing. And aside from Man City, it was a pretty meaty group.
Easy group, yeah.
So
Yep.
I would just go average, to be honest with you. It's not. So we just go average, as everyone.
Yeah, man.
Next, Internazionale.
They made it out of their group, yes. That is also down to Barcelona being horrific, but they yet have to win against a big team in the league. Honestly, I would just put them top of average for me.
100% average. There's nothing else to really add on top of what Furhat said, to be honest.
The only shining light from that team is Barella. Average.
Big games.
Sorry, Kurt. Average as hell.
Hey, Otat Bastoni making them runs and crossing.
He was not the best. He was not the best Nicolo in the game against Juventus. I'll tell you that much.
I'll put them top of average again. As Mav said, Kurt, listen, don't report it or he's gonna boycott it now. We were chatting yesterday. He was like, yeah, he's moving his house in this week, so he's ready to come back on. But now once he sees this, he might be. If he's an honest guy, then he will know that we are correct. It's nothing personal. Nothing personal. Next up, Juventus.
I absolutely do. More anti-football, getting absolutely slammed. Love to see it. But they're on their way back. Back where? How long? How long? How many years are you away from that, sir? Absolutely, yeah.
Like they've had a tiny little resurgence, in like the last 2 weeks. But my goodness, man, pathetic in the league. To be honest with you, Champions League was what? Didn't it get 3 points or something? Bro,
they got through to Europe
in a group
because
with Maccabi Haifa and that, right?
Yeah, they got through to Europe because Maccabi Haifa got packed in by everybody.
Next, we have Leipzig. Now, this one I can't lie. I can only go off Champions League for this one, so I'll let Furhat take the lead on this one.
What they were playing under Tedesco was honestly a joke. They sacked Tedesco though. They brought in Rose, and Rose is honestly doing a good job. I would still not put them in good though, because that would be a bit disrespectful. I'll put them just below Inter, I think.
The only game I've watched, if I'm being completely honest, in its entirety is the Leipzig Madrid game, where they took Madrid around the corner and gave them a good hiding.
Yeah, average. They've bounced back really well, to be fair. I didn't actually expect them to even get to the position where they are right now.
CL, and I just see them looking kind of dangerous, to be honest with you. So whatever happened in the league is what it is.
What it is.
Next up, I'll let T start since he went just last after the Leipzig one. T, can I get your thoughts on the Liverpool Football Club?
What a team. They struggled against Arsenal. They struggled against a lot of teams that they shouldn't really be beaten. Honestly, for them, holding them to their standard, average. You can't go from competing for 2 seasons, 2-3 seasons, or constantly competing to where they are right now. They're not as scary as they used to be. One of them ones where you play a game or something, you play a boss, you beat the boss, and then you come back higher level, the boss is a lower level, and you slap the boss. That's exactly what Liverpool are. They're not scary. I'm not scared of them. I am not scared of Liverpool.
And so for me, I'm gonna agree with you and disagree with you, because that ain't average, fam. This is a horror show for me, mate.
You say horror?
This is a
heavy.
This is
Heavy.
a hall of shame.
Are you scared of Liverpool fans, T?
No, I'm not even scared of
Liverpool. Are you scared of them?
No, I'm just saying average because they'd get vexed over average alone, fam. They constantly think.
Nah,
that's
this is a
average.
hall of shame. This is wild.
This is Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street. This is absolute disgrace. Virgil van Dijk is Virgil van Disney. Joe Gomez is hilarious. Trent is I don't even know what's going on there, but they also
Darwin Núñez though, because they're gonna keep on telling us every week in my Twitter, bro, that he's incredible. We just don't see it because we don't understand football. Fair enough, man. If that's how Liverpool fans see football, I don't want to see football like how you guys see it. Because I put out a tweet. I literally said he's been way better than I thought he would be, and he's also been way worse than I thought he would be. At the same time.
Yeah, it's the truest thing ever.
He's gonna just bag like 15 goals regardless and still be meaty.
You keep that in fact in terms of like they have 19 points right now, right? They could be at like 13, 14 without Alisson, which is.
Bro, I mean, deep it. They literally beat City because of Alisson's kick.
I'm not gonna lie, you man convinced me. Yeah, horror show still.
Bro, your goalkeeper is your best player by far.
They've completely lost whatever aura it is that they had because I don't want to bring up these guys again, but bro, they came to the Emirates and we just gave them a little front hand, backhand slap like it was nothing as well.
This
Man.
man
Said, "How
Darwin
you go,
Núñez
man?
was
Go
doing
back
the
home."
crying thing as well, and they stole us.
Yeah, go back home, man. Go back home. Go back home. But next up, we now have to stop slandering people because I can see one that goes to the top.
Top of the list.
One of the best teams in Europe, Manchester City. I can't really talk too much. Haaland,
Still are, man.
Leave us alone, fam. Like even even against Fulham, bro, 10 men, they still managed to find a way to scrape through the Erling Haaland goal in the 97th minute or whatever. Leno, I'm never going to forgive you. You've got blood on your hands for that.
It was such an awful pan, man.
Do we have any reservations about putting them first place? I know Arsenal are above them, but City
I can't
to be
lie.
fair, doing it in Champions League as
not.
well. So
Absolutely not. Erling Haaland's got 26 goal contributions in 18 appearances. That is in all competitions. That is absolutely ridiculous, which equals CR Nax from last season. So yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
we may need, just as a potential point, I'm not saying get the magnifying glass up, but maybe start wearing binoculars for Joao Cancelo, just a little bit. We have to keep an eye.
Amenyah, how many times have you heard me say this? Guys are on Trent. Guys are on loads of fullbacks consistently.
Nah, Trent is still
right?
worse though. I can't like. Doesn't like.
No. He is. But and when they're asked to, they can't.
Becoming a bit of a Travella merchant, like his FIFA, you know. It's a bit.
And he's fantastic going forward, but he's always going to be dodgy defensively. Cancelo cannot defend. He never has been.
I think he's a better defender than Trent, but I hear he's definitely looking a bit funny.
I think you are when you played centre back with me. So I mean, let's.
True.
So I mean, is it really a commandment?
Like you know, the way anyway, that's a story for another day.
To be fair, there's this thing. They're the best every year. They're always number one on everybody's list, if we're being honest, to win the UCL. But somehow that curse always gets to them.
They have the gene, brother. They have the UCL gene. They should have walked away from Madrid 7-0 in that first leg.
You know who's to blame? Pep Guardiola and Yaya Toure, fam. We know about the incidents over there. And they asked Yaya Toure, they said, who's the better manager, Pep or Arteta? We know his answer, bro. Arteta! We seen the videos. But next up, I think we have another team that probably goes straight into that category.
Yep. I could talk on these guys for hours. They are one of the surprise teams that I have super enjoyed watching. Players I love watching from them are guys like Lobotka. I think he is absolutely ridiculous. What a player he is right now. Zambo Anguissa has resurged as what is a monster in midfield. And again, they've lost so many good players.
From when Osimhen was out for a good minute as well, and they still were just getting wins and wins with Simeone, and then Osimhen comes back. I'm telling you, man, I'm sticking by.
As well, of course.
I'm sticking by Osimhen being better than Vlahovic. You guys are gonna start yelling. I don't care, man. Osimhen's still the guy, but he won't bet the World Cup sadly because he couldn't do it against Ghana. Thoughts on Napoli, mate?
Champions League, first of the group. You know, they've done their job there though. They've done the same in Serie A. I would put them just behind Arsenal or above Arsenal somewhere.
Oh yeah, we didn't even shout out Kim. They lost Koulibaly and then they upgraded him.
They got him better centre
yeah,
back.
what?
Fair. T, you comfy with that above Arsenal?
Yeah.
I think it's fair. Just because of Champions League, I think we, do you know what I mean? And they're far clear in their league as well. I think we have to give the credit where it's. Next up, Newcastle United.
I do not know how they are doing it. They can't decide whether they want to play Isaac or Callum Wilson.
They haven't even had St. Max and Isaac for a good minute.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They're still.
It just doesn't really make sense. They could really improve from here.
A lot of guys were gassing up like Everton and that other year, but this is not an Everton in my books. This one, I believe, like from now on, they're here to stay. They don't have the heritage of like being there in runnings at the end of the season, right? Like, April, May time, when you got to start going on like win streaks to stay alive in top 4 or title races or whatever. Usually they're just there like, okay, they've survived relegation, so they're just doing whatever. But I do think they could maybe rob one team of their top 6 spot. I can't lie. One team might have to get robbed. I don't know who it would be. Maybe Liverpool, maybe Chelsea. I don't know, but watch this space. Furhat, Newcastle. I'm going great, by the way, just for reference.
Yeah, same.
Quite an easy one for me. Probably the best defensive team in the league, if we're being honest. You have to shout out the Newcastle defenders, man. Cher has been great.
Botman, what a player.
I haven't forgotten that first like month or so, when they were having those draws. I was watching the games and I was saying, like, I can't lie, they've been unlucky here. They should be winning because they were getting cooked. People were telling me that their watch is fake and everything is fugazi and that. I'm there saying that I can't lie. This will connect at some point because I was seeing the performances and I'm like, nah, these lot are not like a bottom half team whatsoever.
I also wanted to add upon Almiron. What a month that man has had, man. That guy is.
I don't know.
He must be feeling like
deserved player of the month, man.
He's vexed.
Yeah, Grealish is vexed.
Like, you know what I thought of yesterday? I thought of like whenever Kurt is streaming and then like Lewandowski scores or whatever, the way that everyone is in my chat or in his chat or they start at me on Twitter, and that's just for a random opinion on a podcast. Grealish, whenever he sees on his phone, that Almiron scored again, he must be like tearing his hair out, fam. I can't imagine being in his shoes, bro. That must be difficult. Next up, T. Give us your thoughts on Paris Saint-Germain.
You know what? It's weird. Mbappe, they obviously, they was panicking and shaking that Mbappe was gonna go hop, skip, and jump to Real Madrid. So they offered my man $1 million. $1 million a week? Is this guy's beefing with Neymar and he's all vexed with Messi? It's just so sad that how much this like background stuff is affecting like the on the pitch sometimes. I say good season so far.
From a results perspective, hear what you're saying. However, I'm also going to massively disagree with you, and guys know where I'm going to go with this one, because what you've given me there is the Twitter spiel of this Ninja Turtle, such a rat. Why does he beef everybody all the time because of that one clip where he didn't run or whatever because the pass wasn't made? When I'm watching these guys week in, week out, the brothers are smiling together, celebrating together, they're having fun. Bro, Eminem, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, they're bagging like 5 billion goals, 5 billion assists together all the time. So where I'm hearing this thing of like, he's the most egotistical ever is crazy. I'm seeing all these tweets of like, Mbappe has just spoiled Messi assist yet again, robbed him of an assist. There was one, I agree, that Neymar one would have been crazy, let me not lie. But in general, I'm seeing Mbappe put it on a plate for Messi. Time and time again, Messi misses it, no tweets, no comments. They just say, but... you know what? This Ninja Turtle, I know deep down here, some of these guys are writing Ninja Turtle, but that N is meant to be something different. They're saying this absolute Ninja Turtle. I know what you want to say. You're not fooling me. But that being said, PSG in the league, I'm not going to give them anything for that because they're meant to win the league every year. They're meant to be first. In the Champions League, they've looked ropey defensively, bro. I don't know what happened to Donnarumma. Like, Ramos is getting old a bit. I can only go good, really. I can only go good.
PSG are top of the league. The sky's blue. So the thing is about Ligue 1. I love the league. Anyone who knows me, I love Ligue 1. But I cannot defend the teams in Ligue 1. I don't think anyone there is competent on the European stage apart from PSG themselves. With them playing in literally the biggest farmers league of the farmers leagues, the highest of good or lowest of great.
Fair enough. And Mav, PSG.
PSG. What can I say about PSG? They are the biggest Cinderella story that never got the slippers, in my opinion. There's, again, like Amenyah said, a lot of people definitely have Twitter opinions around PSG for me. For example, the likes of Messi's the best player in the world. And they show me goals and assists and all of that stuff. Yeah, sure, pal.
Managed to get Messi slander and Ronaldo.
No. Yeah, I've slandered both of them because they're both finished right now. But time, like I said, it's Cinderella. Oh, they could become this great. They just never do. Why? I don't know.
Do we go top of good? Is that fair?
Yeah, go for it. Top of good.
Next up, I guess I'll take the lead. Like I said, obrigado. You know, I'm a Portuguese guy now. What can I say?
This guy, man.
To the bang.
He's actually speaking Portuguese now.
To the bang. Porto. There's not even a lot to say. I can't lie to you. I think they were top of their group, right? They finished top of their group, if I'm not mistaken. But in the league, they're quite a way behind Benfica. So in my eyes,
good season.
It's a good season.
Yeah.
Bro.
There's not like
Good
better
season.
to say. We might as well just say good. Like, well done, man.
Honestly, and that top of the group in the Champions League is a bit sketchy as well. If you
Yeah,
look at the teams in that group.
And you just reminded me as well the fact that I could have got my Leverkusen agenda in here and I forgot. That's completely Leverkusen would have their own tier below horror show if I had Leverkusen in this.
You could do that honestly without them performing, yeah.
But anyway, the final 5 teams we get towards the end. We are off to Madrid. T, you want to start us on Madrid?
Man, hey, listen, mature many stocks. I'm telling you, man. Listen, this team. Look, they got rid of Ramos. They bought in Militao. Look how good Militao's doing. They like all they got rid of what Casemiro. Look how good Tchouameni's doing. They've done this so well, and it doesn't feel like they've ever fallen off. They've done essentially the opposite of Barcelona.
It's kind of crazy that I agree with you, and yet to be fair, they were top of the league for most of the time, but literally as of like last week, Barca are now ahead of them. Like, I feel like they kind of were playing in second gear. They weren't really like all out like packing in teams. But then again, when do they ever cook in the group stages, bro? I don't think we ever see them.
They didn't
cooking.
last season.
They arrive in like knockouts and then just start bodying guys. So I'm comfy with great season, but it can't be a high great because they're not.
I agree with you. I would go great season. Again, La Liga, I can't take serious. They obviously have this fantastic team, which honestly,
they have some of those informed players in the world.
Yeah, I'd say this is my third most watched team in football right now, behind United. Actually fourth because I watch every Arsenal game right now as well, annoyingly. So behind United, Arsenal, Villa, and then it's Madrid. I'd say.
I thought you.
I'd agree. No, I've stopped watching recently. I can't lie, I got bored. But it's just Haaland scoring every week. But I would agree with what Ferhat said. Tchouameni looks incredible, by the way. Great stocks, T. I don't know what they've done over there, but they turned players from average footballers into some of the best in the world over a few seasons. And Tchouameni somehow has gone straight in and looks already at that level straight away, season 1. So.
The only reason I go great is just because I'm looking at the remaining ones and not many get into great.
For the
sake of the balance of the list, that's the only reason I'm kind of Roma.
Don't care
There's
about
not a lot to say for them because the start of the year, everyone was like, "Oh, Mourinho title charge, he's building a super team," and then it just got dry. Like.
I know this
is Mav's boy and that, but yo, Tammy Abraham has been stinking. Like, oh my days, this is bad. For me, though, it's still like average because I don't expect anything from Roma ever.
I've been really tired of Roma. I've been tired of their manager searching excuses. We all know who he is. So I don't know. I don't feel like they had the best of seasons.
I concur. I tried to watch one Roma game once. I can't remember who they were playing, and guys know my thoughts on Mourinho.
Looking at what Farhat said, I can't lie. I look at Chelsea. I probably put Chelsea above Roma. You know, I'm looking at Roma being lost on this.
They would have to definitely be lost.
Absolutely.
They definitely would have to be lost.
Next up. Ooh.
Oh God, you're smiling already. I can hear the smile.
There's no
I can
smile
actually
on
hear
my
it.
face. There's
There
no
is.
smile on my face. Do you know why? Because somehow, some way, Tottenham Hotspur have won their Champions League group and are still top 4. I don't know how. It doesn't make any sense. It has to stop eventually. But they won the silliest Champions League group I've ever seen. With that, Kolasinac missed his open goal header or whatever, and then they scored 90-something minute. In the league, they've been bang average for weeks. Again, Kulusevski injury, I hear that. He's a very important player, but everyone gets injuries, man. People die every day, B. So I can't really factor that in. But realistically, you win your group, you're top 4 for Tottenham. That is a good season, nah?
It's like United under Ollie, isn't it? This is what this Tottenham team feels like. You watch them in a game and you're like, you're not very good as a team. It's another anti-football, isn't it? Like really not working. Anti-football right now is in the mud this season. And after having a good season last season, end of the season, Tottenham, they're just not finding any form, are they? But then they're still 4th. So
Antonio Conte, what might potentially be fake. I can't lie. I was backing him as well.
I gotta make an apology, man. I came on a podcast and I was like, Conte, he's gonna do great things for Tottenham, and I'm not gonna lie, that man is not surviving for long, man. That man stinks. Emerson Royale, spends millions and he's still that bad. But unfortunately,
bro, he's never gonna be a good footballer no matter what he spends. I've been on his neck since he arrived. What a terrible baller.
Man. It's actually funny because I see the fans at half time. Yeah, they'll be booing the team. And then, like, for example, Champions League, when they made, like, a comeback or whatever, then it's like, yeah, Conte, what a beast. Conte playing all along. Next game again, they're losing half-time. Boom! They win it again. Bro, Conte, what a man. He just has that winner's mentality instilled. But for her, I guess you can have our final movement. Where does he go on this tier for you, sir?
As you said, top 4 is still very decent. They came out top of a group that, in my opinion, did not include a single team that is of
that's a
quality. Yeah, something like below Porto, maybe.
That's exactly what I was looking.
Yeah. I hear that.
Agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
All right then, final 2. Now this one, I was made more aware in recent times. Mav made a point just now that anti-football teams have been failing this year. However, we have one team who, up until last week, I don't even know how, were top of the league in the Bundesliga. That does raise my eyebrow severely, like very, very high up. Because what were they doing there?
Trying to do a Leicester.
Something. At least Leicester, Mahrez was like a little fun to watch in that. I'm
Flary,
watching Union Berlin goals, and it's just literally, like, think about. I don't want to bring up the game, but think about FIFA 19, when guys are just dinging crosses back post and guys are just getting headers. That's all I keep on seeing. But again, Xabi Alonso has just slapped their head 5-0, so even more question marks there. But I think great season. If you're top of the league and you're holding up Bayern for 12, 13 games.
As Union Berlin as well, you have to say that's a great season.
I was keep on wondering how they were top of the table. If you look at the XG, they outperformed it by, like, I don't know how many goals. Like, the highest transfer that they spent, like the highest fee, was 6 million. It was 6 million on Sibachu or something like that.
We do this again after like 26 games. I guarantee they're not even going to make the list, fam.
They're not going to make the list. It's not sustainable, but it's not sustainable. But you know what? They do not care.
Well, as you will notice, we've been going in alphabetical order, but these guys are last because they're saved as United. So, Ooh, we can go back to Matt for this one. You can go back to being first, mate. Thoughts on one of your teams that got slapped up by one of your other teams very recently?
Barring the recency bias aside, I would say it's been a low good season so far, in my opinion. Specifically defensively, the partnership of Martinez and Varane has been great. Dalot has come on leaps and bounds. Maybe mid-good because United are poor, but
I find this very interesting. We have a couple teams on this list that are currently in the top 4 or just outside the top 4, like United are, and won their Champions League group. United failed to top the Europa group after another 4 billion spent.
Let's relax on that. The only reason is head-to-heads. And Real Sociedad's penalty was an absolute farce. So that's the only reason they won that. So relax on that, okay? Relax on that.
Other teams won their Champions
Don't do a
League
Twitter
group,
take on this.
and
Actually,
another
watch the
team
games.
failed
Relax.
to win the Europa group.
Relax.
If you want to start bringing up like that, they should have got not a goal against Sociedad or whatever, bro. There was Amenyah that it took 98 minutes,
But they won.
and so did Sociedad. They also won.
I get that.
They still didn't.
But let's not do the little intricacies. Let's not do the little intricacies.
But I was in the group, fam. Amenyah was in the group. What's that? That's not good enough. That's not good enough. They've had several beatdowns in the league, so I can't. And I hate Spurs as well, but I can't say that this is better than Spurs when Spurs are higher than them and won their Champions League group. For me, it's average. I can't lie. Manchester United that are currently not top 4, and they're playing playoffs in Europa League. That can't be good season. That can't be good. Surely. Furhat, can I get your thoughts? Am I going crazy?
I don't think you're necessarily going crazy. Now, what I do have to say is that I do enjoy watching United more than I do watch some of these teams in average. If we do look results-wise, though, I completely agree with you in the fact that, yes, they're 5th. Yes, they didn't top their group.
Game behind as well, by the way. If they win the game, they're 4th. I just want to point that out.
Don't do that. They have to win like 10-0 or something.
Goodness.
Don't do that, man.
Yeah,
bro,
I think the goal
United have
difference is
negative
higher,
goal difference,
no?
by the way. United have negative goal difference. They are
Yeah, I
fifth,
think
no
they
matter what
do.
happens.
Yeah, you're right. Goal difference, I think they do stay 5th. Yeah.
I kind of see the progress. I like it. But for me, I can't put them in good when I look at some of the teams in good. Maybe above Dortmund for me. Something like that. I don't know.
I said upper. I did say upper average, lower good, because I mean, if we're going on team expectations,
you
we
said
can't.
mid good. That's why I was looking at the teams in mid good. I see Porto and Tottenham. That's why I mentioned the fact that obviously Tottenham, as boring as they are, did win their group. And
Yeah. No, of course, but for me, I'm always gonna like with the other teams we have done. I'm always gonna include their expectations. And let's be honest, you can't say you're expecting United to be where they are right now in this season. You're lying if you say yes, that you do expect them to be there. So that also factors in the other teams like Barcelona, Inter Milan, like all of these teams. They're in the Champions League already. So you're asking, like, you've got to put it in comparison. The same way, if we were to consider teams like, okay, well, Porto are also.
Wait, sorry,
like,
are you
good.
saying that I'm expecting United to do worse than what they're currently doing? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, 100%. For off of history, 100%.
What?
100% you do.
So I should expect them to even be lower in the Europa League group and be even lower than they are in the league.
No.
Is that what you're telling
Yes,
me?
you would. Yes, you would. You would, yeah. You would.
Maybe if I was consuming narcotics, but I don't. So I'm a normal human.
No, you would.
So
you
why would
would.
I expect?
You would.
Manchester
You're lying.
United, I
You're
should
lying.
expect them
You're actually
to not
lying.
make it out of a group. Oh my!
They did make it out.
Oh man!
No, but you're saying that they finished second. So what I'm saying is you're expecting me to think that they're going to be even lower than that, i.e., finish 3rd or 4th and not make it out. You're saying that
in the league more so.
is-
In the league more so than Europa. Yes. And everyone will agree. Europa, you expect them to
They should be
win
lower
the
than
group.
5th.
Yes, they did. Where did they finish last year?
Okay, no dramas. No dramas. They got a new manager now. No complaining. They spent about 400 billion. They got the beast, the goat up front.
Yeah, but
They got the best DM in the world. They got the best centre backs in the world.
The same was said last year. The same was said last year. So I'm, like I said, I'm just I'm happy with lower good, upper average. I'm happy with that for sure. Looking at the teams in there, they're all like they're in between UCL teams. If you're comparing what expectations, you can't tell me they're worse. They're much worse than Dortmund, Leipzig, Inter. Like, come on, like let's be serious about this. Chelsea, come on.
I expect Manchester United to be fighting on all fronts at the top.
No, you don't. No, you don't. That's just stupid.
What do you mean I don't?
No, you don't. How can you expect United to be fighting on all fronts right now? What? In what world?
Manchester United. If a good season is finishing second in the Europa League group and not making top 4, fair enough, man. Fair enough. That's okay.
By the way, no. It's so far. By the way, we're not doing by the end of the season. By the end of the season, they're going to be top 4. We're doing so far. Remember, I think so too, we are doing so far, and so far it's been an average to low good season. Where the issue is, if you expect more from United than what they're doing right now, that's where your issue is. I can't lie, personally.
I expect more from United because I'm being told that they had the best goalkeeper, the best centre backs, the best DM of all time, the best striker of all time. I'm being told they've got the best in almost every position, and yet they're still bobbins.
But that's just not logical, though, is it? That's a Twitter take on that. Like the same way I could say to you, oh well, Arsenal were like rubbish last year. How are they challenging for the top? Like that's football, you know. Like we're not. Like that's what happens in football.
You just said like a fact. Like we were bad last year, and now we are challenging. That's a fact. How's that wrong?
Yeah, and United were bad last year, and now they're pretty good. That's a fact too. They were terrible last year.
Like I said, if this is a good season so far from United, fair enough.
Okay. One question I'll ask you, Amenyah. Last season, what would if you were to put United on this scale from last season, where would it have gone?
I don't get the question. What are you saying? If we
United's finish, United season last season, where would if there was a similar scale like this, where would you have put them?
That would be a horror show.
Exactly. So how can you expect a horror show to be challenging on all fronts? Like not even 4 months later. That doesn't make sense, bro. Your expectations are skewed.
You have to be
that's skewed.
Top 4.
I'm sorry, that's skewed.
Can I get your thoughts on United?
They're behind Chelsea. I don't even care what anyone says, man. They're behind Chelsea. The average. You can't bring
behind,
in... Yes, behind Chelsea. Yes, behind Chelsea.
Oh,
you guys have spent a lot of money. Listen, you guys have made personnel changes in a lot of positions apart from striker. You brought in a new centre back. You brought in a new DM, who you guys were saying is one of the best DMs in the world. Now...
No, the best
DM. You cannot try to say that they're having a good season right now when the way they're performing with the personnel that they brought in and with the manager they brought in too. No, average, behind Chelsea.
Go on.
Okay. Nah,
something.
There's no point. I'm sorry. When Logic's left, there's no point. When Logic's left, there's no point.
Logic just
behind Chelsea.
Yes, behind Chelsea.
Brother, come on, man.
Yes, behind Chelsea.
Come on, man.
Yes, behind Chelsea.
Come on, man.
Chelsea, exactly.
Behind Chelsea. Come on, man.
They're still in the Champions.
You get the final move for us, then, mate. Help us out so we can be done.
Again, I listened to everything, but I would still put them just below Leipzig. I don't know.
So we meet in the middle, and we go.
Maybe meet in the middle.
Wait. If Barca are top of their league,
that's what I'm saying.
And they're now in the Europa League with United. I can't lie. I kind of hear it now. Barca are top of their league, and they're now down. So now they go here, and now I think better season than Chelsea.
I can't lie. They're above Dortmund, Leipzig, and Barca.
That's your bias coming through, my brother.
No, it's not. No, it's not. How is it my biasy coming through? Leipzig, where are Leipzig in Bundes right now? Seventh, right? Am I wrong, Furhat? They're 7th.
Who's 7th again, please?
Leipzig. Is it Leipzig?
I think Leipzig is 6th.
Okay, 6th, 7th.
And
Dortmund. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're comparing them to guys in the UCL.
Who have spent less money than them. But
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
We meet in the middle and we go in between Barca
This
and
isn't a
Chelsea.
video about how much money someone spent. It's about
It's
the
about
fact.
the expectations.
This is
It's
not.
about the
This is
expectations.
not. This is not Twitter
This is-
feelings.
this is about
isn't. Oh, but you've
expectations.
spent billions.
You guys
This
were
isn't.
spending
Oh, but Man
money
City
and
turn over
yelling.
nothing. They have a fake conglomerate.
United are
Yeah,
back.
cool. Whatever.
United are back. We beat Arsenal. Bang. And
I'll
now
look
look.
into that one though. I've been looking at the LinkedIn's Man City. We're coming for you very soon.
It's
Don't
like
worry,
this
man.
is not about like feelings. This is about what is actually happening.
Alright, so let's meet in the middle and let's put Man United last on average.
Go for it. You can go for it. I don't care where you put them. I don't care where you put them. I really
After
don't.
Barca's fair,
I just
they're
don't-
top of
like,
their
I
league
just-
and they're linking up with you, man, in Europa League. Fine, it is what it is. It is what it is. Are we comfortable?
Yeah, I'm all good.
I am, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I am.
All
yeah.
right then. There we go. It was a good thing I saved United for last. I knew there was going to be some chaos there, and so that's why I put them as United. But there we go. That is our list of the best and worst performing teams in Europe so far. If you enjoyed it, obviously like the usual stuff. Put all the comments on what you agree with, disagree with. Maybe at the 19 game point, we'll do like a Premier League only version for all 20 teams. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. From next week, again, we're back to full fitness. We should have a lot of guys available. The World Cup podcast will begin. So subscribe, do the usual stuff, get involved, follow these men on their socials. Have a wonderful week. In a bit.